Hi, I'm Gemma Craven.
And I'm Jeffrey Cologne.
And this is the Wednesday Word on Social. Hi, everyone. And today we're talking about converged media. So, Jeffrey, what is converged media? I know we've been talking about paid, owned, and earned for the past 2+ years, but what's converged? Is this just another buzzword?
Well, you answered the question right there. It is paid, owned, and earned. It's just a new terminology. You're seeing it a lot on slides that basically show three circles all converging in the middle, that paid, owned, and earned bubble meeting in the middle to show true integration with all three practices.
But isn't this what we've been doing all along?
Yes. It's nothing new. I think it's just a new term, and it's something that is used to explain how paid, owned, and earned work together to people on the brand and agency side. Again, it's just marketing speak, but it's something that has existed for the past 2 years that most integrated agencies have been practicing for that period of time.
So do we think then that the kind of resurgence of this term or the emergence of this term is something to do with trends in working? Is this something that clients are asking for now?
Yeah, I think a lot of clients now look at the landscape and realize, based on the studies out there, that they can't just reach the earned media plateau without having the paid and owned elements. So they're trying to figure out, well, what's the best working model for my company? Is it having a variety of agencies in different areas trying to work together to reach their ultimate goal, or do we sort of work more with an integrated model, go to a one-stop agency shop, and where paid, owned, and earned all work together in the same environment to try and reach those objectives. So I think the emergence of converged media in the marketing landscape again is going to lead to a lot of brands questioning, how their agency setup operates.
Is converged media really just a money-saving term? Is it really a way of bringing together operations so that rather than paying three partners, it's a way of having just one company in the room? Yeah,
I think if you look at a lot of companies now, their main objective is really cutting down on the paid portion of the bubble. That's the most expensive side, is buying media. They want more of the earned, and there's a lot of reasons for that too. I mean, studies have shown people trust other people when it comes to buying specific products or services. So they want more of those earned media impressions, but they realize they can't just get all those earned media impressions by going to an agency or a partner where they say, hey, we're going to give you all these earned media impressions without having those other integrations. So I think what they're realizing is we need to have one agency that sort of does all of this, offers all of these marketing points in an easy sort of plug and play model.
So let's talk then about some cases of this in action, because as we've been talking about, combining paid media with owned properties to generate earned, that word of mouth is really the effective way to scale social. So, are there any brands out there doing it really well, or are there any platforms we can think about where they might be demonstrating examples of converged media?
Yeah, I mean, we look at the big companies. I think Adidas and Nike and Red Bull have been in this landscape for quite some time before I think anyone even thought of the paid, owned, earned converged model. I mean, they've always been making content that they've been buying media against. They've always had their own properties that they've wanted people to experience that media, and they've made that media shareable. So it then sort of leaks out onto the earned space where then people can talk about it. So I think those are really good examples of how brands of all shapes and sizes can build their platform. And in terms of actual social platforms themselves, I mean, I think Tumblr is a good example of the converged space, where for many years it was really just an earned space, but now that they offer a paid element, it sort of has that paid portion, and ultimately you can lead everything back to your owned properties from Tumblr. So it really is the most open platform out there that fits into this converged model.
And I think we'll continue to see more of this combination of the three elements in these emerging platforms as we move forward. Any kind of last words of advice for brands out there looking at this converged space?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is, how is your current setup in terms of what agencies you're working with? I mean, I think early on when social really started to take hold in 2006 and 2007, many companies turned to sort of that social-only shop because there weren't a lot of larger agencies with a social offering. Now that we've sort of fast forward to 2012 and almost 2013, with the realization that you still need a paid element, I think a lot of companies now need to sort of look and say, okay, how do I integrate better? Do I keep my social-only shop and have my agency of record that does all my creative and paid media, or do I bring everything into a one-stop shop scenario, since most larger agencies now have a social offering and run everything more efficiently in that manner. So I think it cuts down on having a lot of people at the table. It allows you to be more nimble. It allows a brand to work with a partner who knows what the left hand is doing from the right hand. So I think this is just the way to go in the new era. And I actually see a lot of agencies who just did social trying to add that paid element or that creative element. And then, of course, a lot of larger agencies who maybe never have done social, adding more of that element, so that all agencies and shops really become this sort of 360-degree converged model.
And I think that in a couple of years' time, the term social will have dropped out of social media because it will be part of this converged landscape, and we'll be having another Wednesday Word talking all about that.
That's right.
Great. Well, thanks, Jeffrey. This has been the Wednesday Word. We'll see you next week.